ear was ringing, and I like thought I popped my eardrum. Both my fins flew off. I get like ejected 8 feet in the air. Like I had to get Evan out of the water. I drove him that morning. He wouldn't get out until he got a good wave, and I'm sitting there with like that face. Like why I'm scared for canaries is the way that I surf. I just ride the barrel until it like just keep getting barreled, and I feel like I'm just gonna try.
You gotta kick out at show.
No, I just shouldn't do that there.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Breaking Even podcast. This week, we have a very special guest joining us today. He reigns from Data Point and has been absolutely sending it during the biggest of swells to hit our coast. He also just spent about 2 to 3 weeks going in Portugal with PLC. And he just dropped his highlight clip, which we will link below for you to watch after this episode. So strap in and enjoy the pod.
There's no better time to have you on, Scotty P. What's going on? Thanks for coming and welcome to the show.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here. Yeah, we're just hopefully getting some waves over the next days here, and it's hard after you go on a surf trip, and you get spoiled, and you come back and it's just flat at home forever.
Yeah, it looks like you got pretty damn spoiled too.
Yeah, there was a good mix of swells, all different directions, and got to surf like a variety of spots that made it a pretty special trip.
Yeah.
Sick.
Well, should we just jump into that?
Yeah, how was it cruising with Pierre, and like was it a great experience just learning like what he has to offer in those camps? And I guess surfing those waves is probably an insane just experience overall. But what was a good highlight?
I mean, so I had like about 2.5 weeks there, but I did 1 week with Pierre, and then just kind of like a week and a half cruising around with Liam and Luke Gillen. And so it was like me and Luke did the camp with PLC, and yeah, it was a good time. Really good vibes. Really like helped us find the sick waves and put us on it. And over there, it's like the tides are so big that like the window is like really specific, and so like it's kind of like laxed, like, and most of the times like you don't have to wake up early to surf, like so we were kind of surprised, like, oh, like we want to get up early and go scope spots, and he's like, nah, like it'll be good here at this time, and like so we'd kind of be like frothing, and then we'd just be waiting around all day, and then finally we'd go, and like it would be sick. But we were like, oh, shoot, like, we wish we could surf elsewhere. He's like, no, it's just not good anywhere else. Just, like, so relaxed because, like, they get so many all the time that, like, it was just no big deal. And, yeah, his place is sick. It's, like, a sweet house, like, a ocean view, and you kind of, like, get it to yourself, like, because he'll usually, like, stay elsewhere, or sometimes he'll stay the night there or whatever. But it's, like, a full house. Yeah, really nice spot, and like literally looks over one of the sickest wedges that there is there. And yeah, I mean, just the whole time we were chasing waves with him, pretty much surfing like almost a different spot like every day. But there was a few days that like, we were kind of dialed in on the same wedges. That one that's in town, like the kind of like famous one that everyone sees the photos of in Lisbon, that one was pumping for a few days. So that was sick.
That wave is so sick.
Yeah,
it looks like you got it good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's like, it doesn't, I mean, at least when I surfed it, the big side waves, like they don't line up super like perfectly, it's kind of just like a big ramp, but like maybe out the back, but you can definitely get like sick waves there. But there was actually like days where it was breaking like right up against the wall and like wedging, like pretty much like you're riding fins scratching like sick waves.
Sick. Hell yeah.
I've seen that, like I think We Bodyboard post a bunch of photos of people like in the wall like as it's barreling like on the wall. It just looks crazy that you got to surf it like that.
Yeah, it was cool. And like the whole time, that whole week, like the conditions were not like ideal for around there. Like the wind really, like the classic like north wind, like, or east wind in the morning, like offshore, for all like the reef breaks and stuff. So we were kind of like dodging around, like finding other waves. And then after the camp was over, like thankfully, like PLC, we stayed in touch, and he like hooked it up with like the right people, and so I got to just like go surf with all those guys and got to surf like Super Tubos and Mojitas, like famous waves. It was a good time.
Yeah, it looked
Yeah,
like you got
that's-
Super Tubes like as good as it gets almost.
Yeah, like I mean, of course, anytime you go visit somewhere, everyone's telling you, "Oh, it gets so much better than this. It gets so much better." There was definitely a lot of doubts when I was there, so I could see how like maybe like it gets a lot more peaky and like makeable, but it was a real challenge, so it was fun because like it was just
Yeah.
being out there.
What's Super Tubes compared to, like, maybe if you even could compare it to anywhere else that you've surfed or around home?
Maybe like Puerto Escondido.
I can
Like
see that.
like when I was surfing Super Tubes, that's how it kind of felt because, like I said, there was a lot of closeouts, a lot of rips, and like those 15 to 30-minute periods where you're kind of just getting sucked around, and any wave that comes in is not like a good wave. And so, hold on, my mom's texting me. She's like,
Mom, this ain't the time.
Get her on.
Yeah, she want to hop on?
no.
Doesn't she know this is the biggest podcast in the whole world?
But terrible to Puerto. The
It looked like the footage you got, like some of those big pits you were getting looked pretty insane.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's better than a barrel I've had out there. So,
yeah, it's a heavy wave, and the paddle outs, like I'd say, like I don't know, it breaks a little bit further out than Puerto, but we have a very bad skunk issue in my neighborhood.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
I think all
Please continue.
of Laguna Beach is infested with skunks, and so like my house, we have people that cruise like every day, and like just kick it in my yard like at night, and so it smells like the like strongest like spray, and then like all the time I'll be like going up to like get water because my room's like separate from the house. I'll like be going up at night, and there's just like a skunk just sitting on my balcony, and like I almost get sprayed all the time.
That's so crazy. Actually,
what the heck?
Yeah, it's pretty funny, and like they're everywhere, dude. It's crazy.
I feel like I've
Wow.
never seen a skunk in Laguna Beach.
You will now.
Yeah,
They're
Gotta
on the
come
back.
out for us.
So random.
Like
I didn't
especially
even know that was an issue.
by like that street too, that whole like South Laguna area, like that whole
Mm.
hillside, bunch there, and then like I live off like near like Bluebird, so it's just pretty.
Mhm.
They're all down in that canyon, I guess.
Hectic.
But
Wild.
I guess yeah, it's a sick wave. It's challenging, and not like a whole lot of locals. Crowd was pretty. I don't really think a lot of people wanted to mess with it. Everyone was more like at that wedge down the beach because it's mellow to surf it. You can just like ride out and get the waves. But they hold it down.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
that edge.
Speaking of
Well, the
trips,
most
go
sorry,
ahead, Swerve.
Craig. I was going to
Go.
say the most important question about Portugal is what do you think of the pastel de natas?
Bro,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, not like I don't know. It's not like my favorite style of pastry, but then I started eating a bunch of them, kind of like an everyday thing.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had like pretty average. I've had like average ones, but then like you find a good one, and you're like, "Whoa, this is really good."
because like every single place has it. Like anywhere there's just like a storefront, they have like if they sell food, they sell pastel de nata, and it'll be like a gas station, and it'll be the best ones you've had.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Did you
Gas
have any
station.
other like cool? Do you ever have any like culture stuff that you thought was really cool, like the food or like the architecture or like the people or like anything like that, like being around Lisbon?
Um, let's see. So the food was good. Like if you like seafood, like you're
Mhm.
on. It's just,
Yeah.
but it's
Mm.
different style of seafood than like I usually eat. It's like more white fish, like cooked, like braised, like stews and stuff, and like I'm more like sushi style stuff.
Mm,
So it's a but I love like clams and all the shellfish. They have a bunch of
yeah.
that there. But
Yeah.
cod's huge in Portugal. So if you like cod, you're sweet.
Yeah.
It's good.
Did you ever look like on the like from the north, basically like the northwest side of like the bridge coming out of Lisbon and like look towards the city? And it's like it's pretty crazy. Like to me, it basically looks like the same like skyline as like San Francisco. Like when
Yeah,
you're
it's
looking into this, obviously the bridge is like the same color. It's more it's
yeah,
I think the engineering is more like the Oakland Bridge, but same color. And then like I feel like all the buildings and the colorful houses and everything, and like even the way that it's like situated on that hill, it like you if you didn't know that it wasn't San Francisco, like I feel like you could almost easily mistake it, like almost bridge aside. I
yeah.
thought that part is always kind of crazy.
Such a interesting like diverse place because you go across the bridge and then like it's all city for like 10, 15 minutes and then you keep going and you're straight in like farmland.
Yeah. There's like castles and like
Yeah,
what?
we-
Yeah.
That
like like I don't know. I love it. Like when you're going through like all the old country towns, like you go through and people just give you like the oddest looks. Like, what are these kids doing? Like I town at like the more like, and it's like some grandma just sitting on her balcony having a coffee. Like, we're like,
Yeah.
hey,
she's like, who the hell are these guys? Get the hell out of my town.
they're they're pretty nice. Like, very hospitable, especially like
Mm.
the surfers and bodyboarders. And it's cool because bodyboarding seems to be kind of like above, at least at the spots we were going to. So it was a cool vibe.
Did
Sick.
you pick up on any words and stuff, like any Portuguese? You just not even try.
Honestly, like no, I didn't really even try. Just like
Yeah.
just learn. Thank you.
It's
I'm,
too
I
hard.
feel like around Lisbon, like it's pretty easy to get by with English.
Most everyone speaks English.
Yeah,
Like, thing you can do is try to speak Spanish there. It's like,
yeah.
or,
So I feel like sometimes it's more confusing trying to speak Spanish to someone who speaks Portuguese rather than like just speaking English. I don't know. So there are a lot of common words, but then there's others. I guess it's a regional thing, but
yeah, they just
yeah.
like they. I think it's like disrespectful there if you speak Spanish to them.
Yeah. Well, they definitely aren't like big fans of each other between the Spanish and the Portuguese.
You've also done the Puerto Rico trips. How many have you done? Two?
Four.
Four? Holy
Dang.
shit, I
Wow.
was off.
Bro, you're like part-time resident there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I've spent almost like 2 months of my life there.
Sick.
So crazy.
That's wild. That's wild though. And it's a similar situation like with Jared with a pro. Like it's kind of the same thing. You get to cruise with him, and he basically just shows you around.
Yeah, it's a similar experience. I believe Pierre might have got the idea from Jared's camp. As in like I think Jared's been running it for a long time now, and Pierre's kind of
Hmm.
like a bit newer to it. So Jared's like super dialed in with his program, and just everything about the way that he runs it is very like personal. And of course, like by now I'm like good friends with Jared, and I like
Hmm.
feel super. staying with him, and his property is so amazing. And I love it there. I love all the waves. It's warm and people are so friendly. Food's good, but it's definitely a different experience in the essence of like Jared. I feel like maybe it's just like the experience level of like running more camps. But he really like gets very intricate with like the teaching side of things and like the actual coaching aspect rather than just like kind of going and surfing with you or like taking you to the waves.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then it's all because Jared's like, you know, you're staying at his house with his family as well. Like, you know, you have a separate quarters. He has like little apartment that he's built back behind his house. That's like sweet, dude. It's all set up with like AC and Apple TV and like kitchen, everything. Wi-Fi, all that. But like, yeah, you get the full experience. And now like his daughter's bodyboarding, and you know, it's only gonna be a couple of years until we got Nalu up on the board, and
I mean,
his wife Rips as well. So it's just like a whole family affair, and she helps out so much with the camp. Same with His daughter. Like, she's rad. She'll come and like run the plates to us when we're having dinner and lunch. Yeah, cool vibe. Like very personal.
Sick.
Yeah, it's like just a full on like everyone's involved sort of deal. That's sick.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't really
to me,
know that.
Yeah, that I mean, of course, it's because I've been there so many times now. But even just that the first time I went, it's just like it's a special experience that like I think you are able to like, you know, pay for that type of experience. It's really worth it, and like especially if you really care about progressing your bodyboarding. And like the other thing that is super valuable that I enjoyed and I enjoy every time I go is like Jared's super knowledgeable about like everything, not just, you know, bodyboarding. So he's like super into like the history of Puerto Rico, and he has like just the sickest stories from all his years traveling with everyone. And it's just like it's such a good time.
Yeah, that's sick. I was gonna say like even just being with Jared and around Jared, like just how cool of a guy he is. Like he's just such a fun, interesting like person to be around. Like even if you weren't bodyboarding, like even if you were literally just hanging out, it's like he's just such a cool guy to be around.
Yeah, like he really gives a good perspective on things. Like, you know, like really like you have conversations about something, he'll make me think, and I'm like, oh wow, I never thought of that type, you know. It's really cool.
Yeah. And he's a damn good storyteller too. If you get blessed with a Jared Houston story, you're lucky.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, I think I listened to the Riptide podcast. Shout out Riptide for like I listened to it like 4 times because it was so funny. I swear, like all those stories, I just kept laughing at. Like the dangling my sticks over these sharks, like got me so good. That the first time when he was talking about when he was in Oz, dude, that was so funny.
Favorite things to do is put on like if you're like hanging out, put on like one of like his old movies or whatever when he like, you know, rode for Pride or whatever when they did a team trip, and then like you're like, oh, walk me through it, and then like he'll just pop stories through the whole video or like explain to you like all the waves and stuff. It's so sick.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we did that.
It's wild.
Put on what is it, Passing Through, and PLC was talking about it. It was rad. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that wedge that right wedge that they surfed. I don't know if he was there for that session.
I don't know if
Pierre was.
Or
oh no, Pierre wasn't. No,
Jared was.
Yeah.
That wave looks crazy. It looks like just the heaviest. Like it looks heavier and longer than wedge, which is fucking sick.
Yeah, that wave in Brazil looks insane.
Like almost multiple sections sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 6 foot side wave.
And
I
then
mean,
and then it's like the ramp is like the landing pad is like the beach.
mhm. Before we get into another very interesting topic, let's go back to that Hawaii trip we did before the COVID meltdown.
Goodness.
Oh man.
There was some absolute nonsense that went down.
There were some meltdowns on that trip for sure.
Let's
Yeah.
start with just scoring Keiki.
Yeah. Have
That was a
you
good day.
ever seen it break like that before? Like, have you
No.
seen it break like a proper beach break before?
Nah, I didn't know that existed. Like,
Yeah, it's so crazy.
I remember like the first day I got there, like you guys weren't in, Tanner was there, but I I wanted to surf, and then I got to like Sharks Cove or whatever, and then Tanner's like, "Yeah, meet me at Pipe." So I go to Keiki, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll just walk on the beach, and like go all the way to Pipe." And like I get like out towards like the beach, towards the water, and then I walk like 100 yards, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not gonna work." Crowd. That's so crazy to like see it wedge like that and be like fully
Mhm.
makeable.
It's so sick. That's like my favorite wave to surf on the North Shore almost.
Like,
Was that
So crazy.
have you not been back since? That was the one and only time you've gone.
yeah, I haven't been back since just because it's like so hard to find accommodation that's
Mm-hmm.
the North Shore, as well as finding like the time off to line it. It's mainly finding the time off to line it up with a pipe swell. Whereas like for me, if I need to get time off work after like ahead of time, and I would love to go just for like a few days for a strike mission, but I don't necessarily want to stay there for like weeks or like a week or 2 weeks. Maybe a week would be fine, but um, I don't know. I also I really think pipe is sick, um, but I like to get like a lot of waves when I go on a surf trip, so I
Mm,
like want to
yeah.
focus on it.
Not the best, probably not the best place then if you want a lot
Yeah.
of waves.
It's less than ideal for wave count.
Like it's not like super high on my list to go back like anytime soon. I would definitely jump at the opportunity if I had it, but
Mm-hmm.
or like I guess interested in other places.
Yeah, for
Not quite
sure.
a
And you have at
priority right
least
now.
yeah.
Well,
You've at least been once, so you got to
top
see
of
it.
what's at the top of your list of places that you wanna touch next?
Definitely Ireland or South Africa. Um, I I really want to go to Canaries. I think I'm gonna for sure do Canaries in October. Like I don't think I'm gonna do the Fronton King because I like all that time off, but I'd like to maybe line it up with like the end of the waiting period, and I hope I get to watch the finals and then surf around there. Maybe, yeah, just Tahiti sounds cool, but the thing about a lot of those why I'm scared for Canaries is the way that I surf. I just ride the barrel until it like just keep getting barreled, and I feel like I'm just gonna try.
Yeah, you gotta kick out at chokes.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't do that there. That might not be a good spot.
You've really got to get out of there.
Get all the way
That would,
just all
that'd
the
be-
way into the dry channel.
Yeah, where else? I don't know. A lot of old places like attract me, but then I'll go there, and after like a week, I want to go somewhere warm next time.
yeah,
fair.
I think the Canaries. I think the Canaries would be like the way you're thinking about it would be sick because like you'd get to see the event, and then once the event's done and everyone parties, you can just go and freaking surf Fronton
Yeah.
when there's not 100 people out.
Yeah. France would be cool, but I also like don't know if I want to go like all the way over there just to surf like beach breaks. It looks insane, but I love like Friday. I think South Africa would be like probably like one of the first things I want to do.
Yeah, that's on my list
That's
as well.
Yeah.
Scary and magical, and
Yeah,
Did,
that's
did
insane.
Jared ever tell you any stories about this about wrangling snakes at home?
We didn't get into. I haven't gotten into that too much with him. I think he
Oh,
share a few stories,
yeah.
but not like any that I can remember, like crazy ones on top. But
Did you say
Anyway.
wrangling snakes?
Yeah, bro. Tanner probably has got a good story about what was that one hike in Brazil? He's just, like
Oh,
just fucking
I
dude,
don't know if I was there for that. I don't know. I know he's a bit hectic when it comes to snakes. Like he'll just go and pick them up.
just grab him. Yeah, like from what I understand, he was like a professional like wrangler, like at one point in time. Like
Yeah, I heard he may have done that for a job. I don't know though.
we'll have to, we'll have to fact check that at
Yeah.
the end of the podcast.
I
Yeah,
have
can
heard
we
stories
pho-
of him just
can we
walking up
phone
to
him
snakes
in?
and picking them up.
friend.
Dude, we should just phone him in real quick and settle it. Well, how long ago was that now? Two summers ago? Smashed your jaw. Like, how did it happen? And what was the recovery process for that? Because I remember that happening. We were all there, I think, and we left. And then we came to hear that you broke your jaw like 20 minutes after we left. And we were like, what the hell happened?
I think it was like right after you guys walked off the beach.
Oh,
Yeah, that wasn't fun, but we got through it, and it was a good learning experience on how to deal with a lot of pain and frustration and not be able to do. But yeah, I don't know. I guess everyone's probably heard the story a million times now, but if you haven't, basically, it wasn't the best day. It was starting to get a little windy, and it was just like so crowded, like always, and I was all like flustered because I just needed like waves, and wave I would try and go on, there was just like somebody going. So I just finally like went on one that was like not even like looking the best, but I was just like, I'm just gonna hit it, like whatever. And so I go and I see like backwash coming, but I wasn't really worried about it. And then I kind of like hit a bump right before I started to like bottom turn to the lip to just do like a roll. And the bump killed my speed. Otherwise, it probably would have gone over the backwash. But I landed like right on the apex of like when it was coming back at me. And basically, I don't know. I think what happened is when I landed, my left elbow like slipped and then I hit the side of my face like that because that's the side that broke and my teeth just went like that. But my like ear was ringing and I like thought I popped my eardrum and like both my fins flew off. I don't know if you see the video from like down the beach. When it hits me, I like get like ejected like 8 feet in the air, like with the wave as it blows up. And then
that's so bad.
I, like crawled up the beach and couldn't feel like anything in my whole face. But I thought it was my eardrum, but then I stood up and I was like fine. Like I wasn't all like wobbly. So I like couldn't feel anything, and then I like tracked my fins down, got them, and then I was just like bleeding out of my mouth, and then feel my like tongue. That was the only thing I could feel. So I like reached back and I could just feel like my molars like dangling, like they were just like there's like 2 or 2.5 like just broken in the back, and so I was like so mad because I had like plans with my girlfriend that day to go to LA and like big day, and so I was just like I immediately like ran and I had to get Evan out of the water because I drove him that morning, and then like he's just so stubborn, and so he wouldn't get out until he got a good wave, and I'm sitting there with like that face like nobody knows what happened. Beach is like trying to like talk to me, hang out, like no one like because I'm okay. It's not like I'm like freaking out, but I'm just like holding my face, and people are like, hey, what's up? Like I'm just like, dude, like not right now. But But then Evan had to help me like take my wetsuit off, and I drove home like all the way through Laguna, just like this with like the heater on my face. So it's the only thing like helped. And then I went to the dentist, and it was Dr. Rubio. Shout out Dr. Rubio. And
Hell yeah.
and he's actually Crowbar's cousin.
Oh,
And-
wow.
Oh, small world.
Legends. He
So
a hell of a story.
what did they do? Like, what's the recovery? Like, when you go in and they say, yeah, your jaw's broken. Like, what's the, like, how do you go about like fixing that and everything?
Well, it was a Saturday, and I didn't know it was broken. I thought I broke my teeth, and I was just like pissed off. So I went in there, and then like I just was like, I need it fixed. Like I need to go do stuff today. And then he's like, well, hold on. And then he like saw, and I was just like, my face just hurts really bad right here, and my teeth feel like this. And he's like, okay, let me X-ray. And he's just like, he sits down in the chair, and he's just like, fuck, man, you broke your jaw. Like, and I was just like, no, like there's no way. And then he showed me, and it was just like broken. And so basically he called an oral surgeon, and then I had an appointment for the following Monday. So I just had to sit for like 2 days with it like that. And then it like the upper mandible, which is basically like right under your ear almost. And so then I go to the oral surgeon or whatever, and then they like, made me sign my life away and like put me under. And then I just like woke up, and I was full like there was wire wrapped around every single one of my teeth, and then like a bracket on like top, and just wrapped around each tooth, like, and then stitched into the bracket. And the bracket was like sutured into my like gums. It was horrible. And so my mouth was shut. So basically like the procedure is they don't need to do like an open surgery to like cut open and like add a plate or anything like that. It's just they basically just set your teeth to like how they should be, like, or how they were. And then wire your mouth, and then just hope your bone like heals the right way, because it's like for this bone pretty much the only way you can. But like if it would have been down here, then they would have like drilled in and like put screws in a plate and everything. That would have been a pain in the ass even more.
Oh, dude.
When I've wired and you have this, and it's like even longer, because I had the wire for like just under, it was like 28 days or something. It's horrible.
Jeez, dude.
Well, moral of the story is don't do rolls at wedge.
Don't do rolls at wedge. Learn from me, or at least don't do stupid rolls at wedge.
Yeah.
When you were with
stupid roll, so
when you were with Pierre, did you talk to him about like I don't know if you knew or if you like talked to him about it, but like he's had a couple jaw injuries as well.
Yeah, he explained a few of them to me, and he said that like I think now he said he has like a permanently dislocated jaw or something.
Oh wow.
Crazy like that. And he said that every once in a while he'll have an issue with it. It's a really scary thing.
Yeah. It was crazy. One of the times we were filming in Hawaii, like for like during his, like when he was filming for his last movie, and like did like this huge air reverse like at backdoor. And he got like blasted on the landing, and then like he like rode in. He was just like kind of just like holding like his like mouth when he came in. He's like, "Oh, bro, like like I just dislocated my jaw." And I was like, "Whoa, shit!" I was like, "Is there something I can do?" And he's like, "No." He's like, I like popped it back in. He's like, I can't surf for like I gotta just go rest. And I was like, "Whoa,
I gotta get out of here."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay." Like
very nonchalant about it.
Yeah, it was just like kind of just chill. Like, I was just like, "Oh, like that sounds pretty gnarly, but okay. Like, just let me know if you need anything."
I think
That's
he might have explained it. I think the way he might have explained it is that like dislocating it's like worse than breaking it, almost like a shoulder. I can't remember.
Swerve's got some shoulder stories.
yeah, that's no fun. So did Jared. Jared basically had me and Jared and I both had like we basically had like the same surgery more or less. Mine was a little bit more extensive, but just because I friggin' broke it.
Yeah.
You kept just ripping it out of place. Jared's was once. You did it like 3 times.
Yeah, I did it too many. three or four too many times.
Yeah.
Like getting stuck forward.
That one time it just happened like just swimming off the boat. Remember that?
Yeah, that one time, off the boat, because it was the joint capsule was like basically like was 100% torn, and so like if I moved it too far, like basically my arm this way, it would just come out. Well, it's good.
Careful. Whoa.
Yeah, what if this happened again?
It breaks like this.
Yeah, I got all sorts of hardware in there now that keeps it stable.
Yeah, if it broke now, I would be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the surgeon did say that like I would pretty like almost for sure have to have it again by the time I was like 40, 45.
Damn.
And that's presuming I don't injure it before then. But just
so don't do any rolls at wedge.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get it injured, Swerve.
Yeah, my rolls at wedge days are long done.
Scotty, what's your plan for wedge this summer? What's your strategy?
Dude, I'm gonna leave my house at like 2 a.m. and sit there in the rocks. Like I'm gonna walk out like halfway on the jetty, sit in the rocks and throw out a fishing line, and then like 10 minutes before first light, I'm gonna just paddle from like the outside in, but like I'm gonna have my kayak with me. And
oh no.
Nice.
Now we're talking.
Nice.
No, I'll probably stay away for a little bit. I looked at it today, but I don't generally like the early season stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll go there tomorrow. I don't know. But
you know, it's always a love-hate relationship with her, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
You hate her when you have her, and then you miss her when she's gone.
Just windows, you know? You gotta find the window.
Speaking of wedge, we've had a lot of talks, just us four, about this topic, we've had the two of us. But give us your thoughts on the black ball issue, because we've said far too much.
It is. There's a lot to say. But I think it's a group effort thing. Like if people really want that to go away, and then like they can do it in a sense that like we have to find a solution, right? Where it's like, I guess the whole thing is like safety, right? They want people to be able to swim there and not get hit by surfboards, and then also, you know, like the real reason is because they just don't like bodyboarders and surfers, and they want to be able to body surf. But like, whatever, if you're going at the angle of like safety, then there has to just be like still like a black ball window maybe, but like shorten it. I don't know. Or like the way I see it is any time that the waves are like overhead high, they really shouldn't allow people to swim there anyways. Just because it's like so dangerous. And so like then you should be able to go out there, or at least like change the rule to no hard boards. Like you can ride a boogie board, you know, you can have a flotation device. Like I feel like
that's how it is. That's how it is elsewhere.
Exactly, yeah. Everywhere you can ride a boogie board or whatever in the swimming zone. So I feel like that should be something that's doable and at least like approachable. And I think that like with the like 7 body surfers that are left that actually go out there and like hold it down, they'd probably like hopefully want to at least just like share, because it's not like they go out early anyways. They all just like cruise the beach at like 10 and just get the sick waves whenever we have to leave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
But it's
all,
like
I'm all-
share. That would be nice. I mean, like they can go. They can have the ones. Go for it.
yeah. I'm all for the shortening idea. I think that's like one way to like compromise the whole thing. If you shortened it to like not a whole entire like working shift, like maybe like just 3 or 4 hours a day, I could see that making a big difference in a lot of people's lives.
Well, I just kind of agree that it should be like any other beach that does blackball. You know, why does it have to be only wedge that it's no boards at all? Like
Yeah.
that's so obviously targeted just to benefit the body surfers.
Right.
Like at Creek,
Yeah.
they blackball it that certain part of the beach for surfing, and then they have it for swimming and bodyboarding. Like there's no, and that's how it is pretty much everywhere else. There's no need to, you know, have it be different at wedge, but we all know why. But
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is just like it seems like, when it's actually pretty good, people push the envelope a little bit. Like every time, like be like 20 minutes past or 30 minutes past blackball, and there's still like people out there trying to get like their last wave. And I think that if just a big group of people like over time just was kind of over it, and they just started staying out a little bit longer and a little bit longer each time, like, I mean, I guess you can get a ticket, but as long as you're not being crazy and like rude about it, you should just be able to protest a little bit. And then
how
like
much is the ticket, I wonder?
quote me on this, I work with a guy who used to be a cop in Newport, and he said it's like $100.
We should get a GoFundMe going. Just pay for our tickets.
Get sponsored
Yeah.
for
I mean,
tickets.
to me, it just seems silly, like, especially if there's no body surfers even waiting. I mean, because, like, to your point, they don't go out early, but that's because they know if they just wait till 10, then they can get whatever wave they want. But sometimes, even at 10, there's still not any body surfers.
Mhm.
So it's like, what's the point in clearing out the lineup for there to just be empty waves?
Or just like for five, or like a handful of body surfers just go have it all to themselves.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it just doesn't, that just seems so silly to me. It's like, yeah, or maybe it's like, if there's a certain amount of body surfers that actually want to go out, then it's like, okay, then you should enforce it and like clear out the lineup. But if it's like, there's literally zero people, it's like, why, like, what is the point in enforcing it?
I think Corey had a good point too, where about the safety thing, where it's like more dangerous to have us all crammed in that tiny little window fighting for waves.
Mhm.
If we were all spread
Yeah.
out throughout the day, it'd probably be a lot safer and probably easier
Yeah.
for the lifeguards too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
yeah, it's just
I don't know. You could
it's
go
way more crowded because you have to surf early.
Yeah.
Like everyone, if you're going to surf wedge, you go early because that's the only
I
time
mean,
you can. If you could surf midday, a lot of people probably would.
and I also think, like, I mean, I know it sounds silly, but like what Scotty was saying is like, when it gets big, like I feel like there almost should be some sort of qualification or like strata for you that you have to reach to even be in the lineup, because like there definitely is times where it's like people in the lineup are posing more of a danger both to themselves and other people than they are, even like they're like not really like getting waves or anything. They're just creating a hazardous environment for everyone else, including the lifeguards that, potentially may have to go, save them because they don't maybe have like the best, water skills and knowledge of, the wave itself. Like,
Yeah,
like it's like when I was like, my first job was like, working at a pool, like teaching swim lessons and stuff. I remember at the pool, they had like to swim in the deep end of the pool, you had to do a swim test to show that you can actually swim, and then they give you like a little green wristband.
Like junior
You
high,
can. So it's like maybe they enforce, and then you have like a list of the booklet, and then you go check in with the lifeguard, and they go, okay, yeah, like you're good to go.
I think like unfortunately, like anybody watching this who, let's say, may not be at like the caliber or skill that like we think should be like out there, right, on those bigger days. Anyone that's of that level watching this isn't going to understand from you just like saying it nice like that. Like it's going to be just in the water, gonna mess up, and someone's going to bark at them, and that's like kind of ultimately what it comes down to. Is I think some of those older guys that like chirped at us when we were younger, they need to start chirping again. And I look the other way. I don't mind.
I think we should have them go try to get one at Cylinders first, and if they can handle it, then they can surf the peak.
That's the test.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you have the lifeguard, you have a booklet, you write in your name, and then it's like, okay, go ride a wave.
But I think the problem is if you can't, you're just dead. Like you fail at Cylinders, you're just dead.
Watch them walk down with their board and fins, and watch them put their stuff on, and then you can just judge from that and be like, "Nah, you're good."
No,
like show me a video clip of you riding a wave.
Like I just don't like the way you look, bro. Just go home.
And then the lifeguard's like, yeah, no, you're. I mean, I remember when I was first going out to wedge, it was like 7th grade, so I was like 13. And it was like, I remember it was like, I had been working my way up in size for like a few years at that point. And it was like, I was 13 and it was a pretty decent sized day. I remember the lifeguard, like, which is like even something now that I think they do maybe to a lesser extent, but he like literally came up to me and he's like, do you know what you're doing? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, am I gonna have to go rescue you? And I'm like, well, I hope not. He was like,
well, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. He was like, okay. He's like, well, he's like, I'm gonna be watching you. He's like, I'm gonna come embarrass you, if you're being a kook or whatever. And I was like, okay. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, honestly,
I mean, not like
that might need to happen more, honestly. Like
they really should do more preventative stuff. Like you don't look like you should be going out there, so please don't, for all of our sakes.
I mean, like, have you guys ever seen videos or been at Sandy's, like when they're literally yelling at people over the loudspeaker? Like they'll literally bully people over the loudspeaker.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. Hilarious. They do that at Waimea too.
It's like it's literally comedy. Like they're like stand-up comedians. They're like they'll clown you on the beach because it's like obviously you're not listening, you're not reading. Like it's just like common sense. And I mean, it would be hilarious if they did that, but I feel like in Orange County or California, in Orange County specifically, the lifeguards probably get sued or something for harassment.
I guess that would be better hilarious. To be a little embarrassed than dead.
Yeah. Well, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, it's at the end of the day, it's for your own safety. Like, because you obviously are oblivious to the dangers and, peril that you're about to put yourself in.
I think that people just need to get yelled at and then they just
figure
it out.
By riders and lifeguards and everybody. Like, hey man, like, like, I don't know why they think that you can like skip, the steps of like moving up to surfing a wave like that. Like, you don't just like, hey, I'm going to start bodyboarding. And then like a week later, like, okay, I'm going to go to wedge. It's like, no, or pipe. It's like, you don't just go paddle out at pipe. Like, that's not how it works.
Like an interesting
The problem is it's just so easy to get into the lineup at wedge. Like if you had to actually paddle out like through a wave half the size of the peak, no one's gonna you're not gonna have a problem. No one's gonna be able to get out.
True. Yeah,
It's
because
just so easy to just
a
hop
wave
in.
like pipe, yeah, a wave like pipe like basically filters everyone out. Like if you're a kook, you're not even going to be able to paddle out. You'll end up at
Yeah.
you're going to end up at Rocky Point. So
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
also
I
a
guess
good point.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense just because it's so easily accessible. Like, yeah, I mean, there literally isn't a paddle out. It's like you jump in the water and you're in the lineup.
You're out the back. You're on the
Yeah.
number
Well,
one
now
priority.
you just told all the kooks how easy it is. Now they're gonna go
No,
there.
no, it's super hard. What you want to do is when you start seeing waves hitting the jetty and out the back, that's when you want to paddle out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get out there, Scotty will be out there on his kayak, ready to just smash it with the paddle. Speaking of danger, was that last year you did that invert over the surfer? After you broke your jaw?
Yeah. Honestly, I can't hear all the years blend together now. It was the first summer, after I broke my jaw. So it was like the first, like literally, I think my first wedge session back after breaking.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
You just couldn't help yourself.
That was a funny situation, that whole thing.
That's a pretty disrespectful thing to do to a surfer, Scotty.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's both.
I don't know. He had caught like 3 of the previous set waves and kind of just ran back up and paddled back out and caught like another one each time. And so I had like been sitting for that one. So I just looked at him and I was like, I'm going. It's like, I'm going. And I was just like, I'm going.
Me too.
Well, you sure fucking showed him how. That frame is crazy.
I don't know, I probably honestly, I probably would have bailed anyways, just because I was still scared from like hitting my face. But if I didn't see a fiberglass stick below me, I probably would have tried, or I would have at least wanted to try to hold on. But for the most part, I don't know. That one was pretty scary.
Did you guys exchange some words afterwards?
No, he actually didn't say anything to me and decided to shoot me a DM on Instagram.
He's like, hey man, that wasn't nice.
He said, and you hurt my foot, and now I can't surf because of you, and you need to respect the locals at Wedge. I was just like, sorry, man. Like, I'll look the next time.
Was it after you posted the photo?
Yeah.
I tagged him.
I did tag.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just said,
I
just decided to ride the wave behind me, not like just not go, because I told you I was going.
Well, he told you he was going too, so that's just straight up party wave.
That's just good communication.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was an agreed upon party wave.
All right, well, I think we're getting towards the end of things here. There's a couple questions that have been fired off in the last hour since I put up that little poll. But the one we're going to start with is, who is your top Grom that you've been seeing in the water?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It's pretty competitive out there these days.
That's what we like to see.
What's up?
I said that's what we like to see. Groms pushing each other.
I think if I had to choose top Grom that's like actually a Grom, probably Drake Kinghorn. Just because like the boost in the last like 6 or 8 months it's been pretty sick just to watch that.
He's ripping.
Shout out to little Kenny Capers. That kid rips, and I think he drops good lines. He just like sometimes like it looks like he's about to get the craziest ramp ever, and so I know one of these days I'm just gonna watch him fly like 20 feet. And then this other Brady. I don't know his last name, but he's like friends with Little Kenny. They're like North County Groms.
Mm-hmm.
They're good kids, and I think it's gonna be dangerous once they get cars because they're gonna come down our way.
Yeah, I've seen them get like waves with crazy ramps like coming at them, but like when you're that age and you're so young, I feel like it's so hard to like put it together and actually do it.
Like you don't even register what you're gonna do. You just go.
Yeah.
You're just going so fast too. Like you don't know what to do with
Mhm.
the speed that you get when you're like this big flying at a section that's this big. Like
But yeah, I expect some real stuff out of them this summer at Wedge for sure. They both are not afraid to go on waves, on like proper waves. So I think
Mhm.
it'll be good to see. Hopefully Drake can get up to surf with us at Wedge a few times this summer. That'll be fun.
it might be coming up tomorrow. He sent me a message, so
Mhm.
we'll see.
Yeah, he's keen. He's keen to chase it.
Yeah, he is keen.
There's a couple questions or just responses in here. There's multiple of these, and it's they want an employee discount at Trader Joe's from you. Is that a possible thing that these people can acquire?
Absolutely not.
That
Not a
was
chance.
that was my question, Scotty.
Yeah.
I sent that one in.
Oh really? No.
Oh,
sorry.
I have a question. What about what's your favorite item at Trader Joe's?
I don't know, man. I said the other day that one of my favorite things, Tristan's actually really gonna like this. One of my favorite things right now
Beans.
is
Can of beans.
and it's these chickpeas that are marinated with like garlic, parsley, and cumin, olive oil. Pretty good.
Do they come in the like wider round? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know those.
Thick.
I know those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's probably one of my favorite products. And then put it on like pizza.
Mm.
Put it on the
Nice.
pizza, put it in the oven, get them crispy. It's so good.
Damn, the
EJ's.
opportunities are just endless.
Endless. Yeah, the 20% goes a long way. What other questions? Got any good ones?
There's worst interaction with a surfer, which these ones are kind of hard because there's like
No, I get along with a lot of surfers. I think it's actually kind of cool about Salt Creek now is we've kind of forged this little community where we all seem to have a baseline of respect for each other. There was a couple just random scuffles back in the day,
mhm.
years back, but all that got handled and it seems to be on a better track now. But I love like going places where surfers like hate us because you just try and give like good vibes and they just hate it. It's so fun. But in Portugal it was sick, yeah, because boogie boarders rule there.
Mhm. That's
Straight
always
up.
nice going to a bodyboarding dominated
Nope.
location.
No official comment on worst interaction with a surfer. I'm probably not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, we can keep that one off there.
Uh,
anyways, all good.
Shout out to Hubboards. Shout out to Mob All Things Ocean. Shout out Alternative Surf. Really appreciate the support. Been just going steady here, working, surfing, and trying to put out content when I can. And yeah, really helps a lot. All the support that I get and much appreciated. Thanks for having me on, guys. Shoo.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for
Oh,
joining
yeah.
us.
Thanks, Scotty.
Appreciate it.
Like
See you in the
Russell.
water.
All right, boys.